India says at least 20 of its soldiers were killed in a clash with Chinese forces, raising the original number of casualties at first reported. The hand-to-hand fighting taking place along a disputed border in the Himalayas. China has accused India of a provocation and has not disclosed if any of its troops were killed. Tensions between the two sides have been building over the last month, but this is the first incident with fatalities in more than 4 decades.
For weeks, trouble has been brewing in one of the remotest border regions in the world. These satellite images show Indian and Chinese troops gathering high in the Himalayas. Now, for the first time in decades, India says 20 soldiers were killed. The two sides fought with fists and rocks. No shots were fired. Among those left bereft, the family of Colonel Santosh Babu, who was killed. We were shocked. Since yesterday, we have been in a deep shock on hearing about my son's misfortune. We never expected this, but it is not new for him to be working in such difficult places. Angry protesters gathered in the city of Ahmedabad, demanding revenge and calling for a boycott of Chinese goods. Let's make India self-reliant and give China a fitting reply. Beijing says it was defending its territorial integrity. Shockingly, on June 15th, Indian troops seriously violated the bilateral consensus and crossed the borderline twice, engaging in illegal activities and provoking and attacking Chinese personnel, resulting in serious physical confrontation between border forces on the two sides. This yellow line marks the boundary between these superpowers. Known as the line of actual control, it is not a hard frontier since China and India have never agreed on where it should lie. In 2017, the two sides confronted each other for 73 days after Indian troops blocked Chinese construction of a road. For years, Chinese and Indian leaders have struggled to reach a lasting solution. This latest escalation suggests a difficult path ahead for these two nuclear-armed nations.
Joining us now with the latest is DW's Nimisha Jaiswal coming in from Delhi. Good day to you, Nimisha. Can you give us some more details about what happened?
Well, Brian, over the last 24 hours, more details have been emerging from both the military as well as the political establishments in both countries. The Indian military, as we heard, has confirmed that there have been 20 deaths. On the Chinese side, the defense ministry has confirmed that there have been casualties, but not confirmed the number of casualties. This morning, finally, we heard from the political establishment in India as well, something that the media had repeatedly been pointing out here, that there had been a lack of so far. The defense minister put out a tweet offering condolences to the families of the soldiers who lost their lives on the border with China. Now, of course, the tone of this tweet does not indicate any call for retribution, which has been seen by analysts and the media here as an effort to not escalate the situation further. Even when India said that 20 soldiers had been killed, they said both sides are disengaging right now. The Prime Minister of India has also called an all-party meet later this evening.
Now these casualties came in hand-to-hand combat. This is the most serious confrontation. We've been reporting that in 4 decades. What's Delhi saying about who started the violence and how it started?
Well, Brian, there are contrary versions coming out from both sides, and the roots of this is truly the controversial and the contradicted nature of the line of actual control in the Ladakh region between these two countries. Now, this is a de facto border, and there have been disagreements in the past as well about what exactly lies in the terrain of both these countries. And the context of this conflict is that there have been high tensions along this line over the last 6 weeks. Over the last 2 weeks, the military has, of course, the military of both sides have said that we want to settle this through dialogue rather than conflict. India says that China was trying to change the status quo. This was a statement that was put out by the military this morning, and this is why India retaliated. China, on the other hand, says that Indian soldiers went into Chinese territory. India reiterates that Indian soldiers never go into Chinese territory. So clearly a difference of opinion on what actually is the territory that belongs to India and China. India alleges and believes that this may be an effort by China to carry out land grabs.
Okay, all of this makes it very difficult for that dialogue you mentioned to happen between the two countries. What's been the public response in India to the loss of military lives?
Well, Brian, what's interesting in India is that the warmongering, almost jingoistic response we see amongst the public when it comes to conflict with Pakistan is largely missing when it comes to conflict with China. Over the last 6 weeks, there has been a call to hit China where it really hurts, which is the economic front. So Indians were uninstalling TikTok. This app became very popular called Uninstall Chinese Apps. And this is the focus of a lot of celebrity talk as well, asking India to cut off trade ties with China. However, the loss of life has definitely ramped up more serious military sentiment as well. There has been a call for retribution. Small protests have broken out from fringe groups in different parts of the country. But of course, there is an effort also, it seems, on the top level to de-escalate the situation. And we're going to have to wait to see through the day today how exactly this proceeds.
Okay, we'll know more about that as that proceeds. Namisha, for now, thanks so much for that from Delhi.